Yan time na so the so you know you can look at democracy. I didn't cry.
Hello and welcome to Facts of the Matter with Enoch Ijo. We look at facts and then we let you be the judge. Recently, young activist Ralph St. Williams visited Ridge Hospital with a phone camera aiming to expose what he perceived as wrongdoing. However, his actions raised concerns about patient privacy and the conduct of hospital staff. And has alleged that Ralph and his team assaulted her, resulting in a dislocated shoulder. Although this claim has been disputed due to a 45-second video released by the hospital, the incident has sparked debate, with some calling for Ralph's arrest and others defending his actions as a necessary response to the alleged negligence by some nurses. Let's delve into the facts and explore the complexities of this very situation. So this is what we're going to be looking at. So let's look at what happens when a man invades the privacy of others. And this is just going to be an interesting ride and journey. So let's go on this very ride. In Ghana, the constitution is very clear about recording people without their consent. According to Article 18(2) of the 1992 Constitution, no person shall be subjected to interference with their privacy, including communication, except in accordance with the law and as necessary in a free and democratic society for public safety or other specified reasons. One probably can come from the angle that what Ralph did was to ensure public safety. But the question is, what events had happened that the public safety was of necessity, for that matter, the recording that needed to happen. The said event that happened was the event that he, Ralph, created by committing an illegal act. And the illegal act in this context was for him to switch on his phone camera, invading the privacy of patients, workers, and all those who were present at the hospital at the time of the event. Now, the 45 seconds video released by Ridge, there are those who believe that it's not enough to arrest or prosecute or sue Ralph. So let's go further. The lady can come from the angle that she's traumatized as a result of what happened. There's a gentleman who once stood at 37 area and blocked a road. And when someone approached him, "Why have you blocked the road?" "Because I have an emergency or someone in an ambulance." What did this very guy, Ralph, said to the person? Ralph said to the person that there are so many fools in the country, so if one dies, it will not cost anything. This got people agitated, got people very angry for a young man to talk like that without value for human life. Now, this same Ralph who made that statement also is seen in a video threatening to beat up a lady. Maybe you've not seen that video. Watch this one. So that is Ralph. You saw it. Good. So this is what he did. So imagine if this very nurse has had a chance of watching these two viral videos and seeing Ralph come to the hospital with a video camera or with his phone camera. What do you think it will do to the nurse? It will traumatize her. And when we say someone has been traumatized, it means the person has experienced a distressing event or situation that has had a profound and lasting impact on their emotional and psychological well-being. Trauma can result from various experiences such as physical or emotional abuse. Trauma can lead to feelings of anxiety, fear. It can also lead to the following: memory issues. So, for the story that the young lady narrated, that she was beaten and she couldn't see the faces of those people, the punches were coming, all that she was doing was to judge the punches and so on and so forth. The things that she was talking about, I've heard whispers and people saying that the stories do not add up. The stories do not add up because she is traumatized. And as part of the symptoms of a traumatic situation, when someone goes through that, it can affect the memory, and a person cannot even differentiate between white and black to an extent. So if you look at some of the things that a trauma case can lead to, is what I've just shared with you: memory loss or maybe even memory issues. Trauma can affect memory in various ways, such as fragmented memories. Memories of the traumatic event may be just disjointed or unclear. Memory loss: in some cases, people may experience gaps in their memory or difficulty in recalling specific details about a traumatic event. So she cannot go straight to the point and even remember the exact thing that happened on that particular day because of the traumatic situation she finds herself in, which can stand on grounds of law. So the story that she narrated about her shoulder, about this, about that, her front, her back, it could add up on grounds of legality because she's traumatized and she cannot remember the exact thing that happened on that unfaithful day. The same guy who is seen in a video at 37 telling someone that if one person dies, what do we lose? The same guy seen in a viral video threatening to beat up a lady. This same guy has walked to the hospital facility that she works, and the guy is saying that he's going to visit any medical staff should something happen to his patient. What do you think it will do to the lady? So if you are waiting for the full video to see people beating her up and so on and so forth, then I think you might probably wait for long. There might not even be a video like that because the lady is traumatized. She can come from the angle that she cannot even come to work again. She's afraid for her life, her security, and therefore want to stop the nursing profession. And it takes a lot to train one nurse. So this very issue that is pending, as far as Ralph is concerned, is a very delicate matter that must be looked at critically. Otherwise, it will create, serious problems as far as this country's future is concerned. Another fact that we should also observe is the education that people seem not to have when it comes to what happens at the various wards. before one can conclude that a case is an emergency, it should be done by medical officers or health experts. That is why there's a word called referral. When something happens in a particular hospital, they refer the case to a major hospital where there are specialists. So either they employ the person, or they put the person in an ambulance. And while they are taking the person to that particular hospital where there are specialists, they'll be administering some medical procedures to stabilize the person. And they also be in contact with the very hospital that has the specialist there. So by the time they get there, they know that this is an emergency case and they will attend to it quickly. But you cannot sit in the comfort of your house and then you rush to the hospital because something traumatic has happened and you say that, oh, this is an emergency. No. The moment you rush someone to a hospital, it becomes the responsibility of the medical officers to determine or to tell that this is an emergency case. All of us were in the country when a journalist once drove to a hospital one afternoon and he never came back. He drove to that hospital, but he died when he went there. He was going for a checkup, and unfortunately he collapsed and never came back to life. Imagine at that particular moment, if they brought, or let's say they have brought an accident victim, or let's say a family had brought an accident victim, and this guy who drove there had also come, of which the medical officers at the time concluded that the guy who drove needs, an urgent situation or urgent care because they believe his case is emergency. Do you know what this family would have said? That, what are you talking about? This guy drove to this place. We have an accident victim and you are saying that he needs urgent care? That is what you would have said. That is what probably I would have said. Because we don't understand the medical procedure. So for a case to become an emergency, that case will have to be determined by the medical officers. So you Rob going there saying that it was an emergency, was this, who told you what happened there needed an urgent attention or it was an emergency? Who told you that? Are you a medical officer? Now, if you decide to go on, there is another point that we need to also observe, that many a time people say that you go to hospitals and you see nurses playing with their phones and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know if you've paid attention. Most of these facilities do not have computers. And those facilities that have also is a desktop kind of computer, the old, kind of computer. And many a time they have issues even dealing with entering data. So some of them use their own phones to enter data to order for things. So when you go to a facility and see a nurse doing that, it means that the person is using the phone to assist the government, assist the facility. Because sometimes it would take hours for a network to generate a detail. And if the nurse decides to wait for this long hours before she attends to you, you see that the nurse is delaying. So in order for you to be taken care of so you can go home, she will take her own phone, enter details and do certain things because her phone is higher than the said machine before her or him. But because you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the understanding, you conclude that this nurse is this and is that. Again, understand this, that it's not the responsibility of the nurse to determine if to search for veins on people. It's not the responsibility of the nurse to search for veins on people. It's the responsibility of the medical officer, or let's say the doctor. And like they say, and massive respect to our noble medical doctors. Nurses can perform some responsibilities without doctors, but a doctor cannot function without a nurse. And that is one thing you're supposed to understand and know. Nonetheless, my fellow nurses, let me also make this very point. It's very important that you communicate well with patients. Some nurses are very rude and do not respect. And because of some of you, your attitudes and behaviors, that is why this whole thing is happening, and it looks as if all nurses are being perceived to be bad or to be this or to be that. And they are calling some of them prostitute. Why are we turning the arsenal on nurses? While the politician who is supposed to provide all the necessary things for the nurses to be able to function and work is sitting down there in the office enjoying himself, and you are making the nurse an enemy. Someone who is a hero, someone who devoted her life during the time when COVID came. You are here condemning the person. When COVID came into the situation, during the time when COVID was all over, these nurses were risking their lives. Why are we treating them like this? So those of you with bad character, it's about time you stop. Because of the few bad characters like that, that is why some nurses are going through what they are going through. I remember many years ago at Takrady Hospital, I was going to visit my mom to my mom's place. I saw this old man who at the time was walking with a stick, but I saw him struggling, walking. So I got closer to him and I said, "Oh, Daddy, can I help you? Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, he's going to the male ward." So he was moving from casualty to the male ward. So whilst escorting him and assisting him, I saw a nurse coming from OPD. And I said to her, "Madam, can you assist my father to, the male ward?" The response was, "I'm tired though. I'm tired. I'm not even feeling well." Honestly, I was very, very pissed and very angry at the time. I reported it to the in charge. And I reported it to Dr. Prepra, my mom. And I wanted to talk to Dr. Tubua. These names that I've mentioned, those who worked at Takrady Hospital at a particular point in time, will be abreast of what I'm talking about. The nurse was dealt with. I didn't go there to shout with camera and all those stuff. This is way back, I think, either 2014, maybe, I don't know, but quite a time. So some nurses have bad character. And it's very, very important that we talk to them so that they can be very civilized. And some of us are always available to assist. When it comes to communication, you need to communicate right to people. You need to respect people. And also, the GNRA body must also educate people and let people know the responsibilities of a nurse. I know of nurses who use their own monies and so on and so forth to take care of other patients. And now, just recently, a nurse told me that, for me, I'm never going to use my money to, take care of any patient again. If you don't have the money, you have to pay. And I said, calm down. A lot of nurses do that. People many a time rush to scenes, go to hospitals with their own view. It's like walking to a police station and thinking that because your case is this and that, the police officer must do this or that. No, it doesn't work that way. We have to be very careful, and we need to know how to handle some of these cases when it comes to nurses. So these are the facts of the matter. I'd like to say thank you very much for doing the listening, and may the good Lord bless you. My name is Inokijo. end. Bye-bye.